A text says, "You're on my mind." A bouquet from 1-800-Flowers says, "You're my everything." Heartfelt moments belong in the real world, not just your phone. For 50 years, 1-800-Flowers has helped millions of people make memories that'll last a lifetime with gifts they'll cherish forever. Their expertly curated arrangements and gift baskets ship nationwide with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't wait for the next big moment. Make it when you visit 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. This podcast is part of the Frederick Podcast Network. Learn more at listenfrederick.com.
Welcome to Check Bags and Big Tags, the no-filter, no-holds-barred podcast where we spill the truth about globetrotting and style. Buckle up, it's time to see the world differently. Welcome to Check Bags and Big Tags. I'm Ilisa Oman of One World Family Travel, here with Mouttet of Gallivant Luxury Travel. And today we have a packed episode today. We have new rules for Europe we're talking about, airline disruptions, and we have a really great experience to talk to you about at the end here. I'm so excited about that. So let's get started. So as of April 10th, this is the big thing. The big thing now is that as of April 10th, the new entry-exit system is in effect across Europe in 29 participating countries, 25 EU member states, and 4 non-EU countries. So what is this? It replaces now the passport stamping with a digital tracking system. So what does that mean?
Well, they do it already here in the US for tourists arriving. They fingerprint and take everybody's picture. So all I feel like is happening is Europe is aligning themselves with what's already been happening in the US for years and modernizing and computerizing their entry-exit system to better track your movements and your time spent in the EU.
So what does this
So
mean for arriving travelers? So when you're going to Europe now, you're going to be fingerprinted. They are going to take a facial scanner photo, and your passport data is going to be stored digitally. So this is it's new. Some people didn't know about it. They've been surprised by it. What they've been encountering are longer lines now upon arrival at the airports. So if you're traveling to Europe this summer or any between now and for whenever, just be prepared for it.
yeah, it's gonna add some timing to it as they get the system up and running. And a lot of it has to do with, I heard, the fingerprint scanners, and I know the ones here don't always work properly, and you can stand up there and you're trying to get your fingerprint. There's various little things causing the holdup, but hopefully they'll iron out the kinks. It's very new, so you got to give them a couple months to get everything rolling. And this is not to be confused with the ETIAS.
Which goes into effect the last quarter of this year, which is the visa waiver people will need to
File online. So that's going to be separate and in conjunction to what this has already started.
right.
Correct? Right. So
Exactly. So there are just a lot of things. We have this applies to everyone. Then there's going to be the ETIAS that goes into effect at the end of the year. And then we also have, if you're traveling to the United Kingdom, there's their visa waiver, which is the ETA. So there are a lot of different things. We've talked about this before. I will put this all up also on the Check Bags and Big Tags Facebook page. I have a flyer that I could put up that explains all this. But if you are traveling, just be prepared anytime soon. Be prepared for some delays because of this new system. If you're someone that's freaking out at the idea of your information being stored digitally, well, there's no way around it.
yeah,
Gotta
those
get
days are
over it.
over. I mean,
Get
they're
over it.
collecting the information one way or the other. They're collecting your information.
Yeah, so
So
if you don't like it, you either don't
then maybe
travel.
you're not going to be traveling, which I could not even think of that, like not being able to travel.
Exactly.
So what this means practically,
Mm-hmm.
maybe not book those super close connections when you arrive in Europe because you may have some issues and time constraints with traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So even before this, tight connections could be a little iffy. For now, this is going to make it like probably erring on the side of it not being achievable. So I keep telling people, I know people are always in a rush to get where they're going, but for me, like you give me 2, 3 hours in an airport, we find stuff to do and the time flies. We shop around a little bit, we sit down and eat something, and before you know it, you're waiting at the gate.
And
So
we're always in a rush to get where we want to go, but the point if you're going to be so stressed out about it and your trip's getting off to a bad start. So just arrive with patience and extra time right now if you're traveling overseas. Um, and working with a travel advisor, if you're working with one, we're the ones to guide you through all this. Now, why are they doing this over in Europe? Well, it tracks guests' time more accurately in the countries. It enforces the 90, 180 day
80
rule.
day.
It allows non-EU nationals, including the US and UK residents, to stay in the area, in the Schengen area, for up to 90 days within any 180-day period visa free. So it's reducing overstays, basically.
That's the goal.
Yeah, you can't just accidentally over in Europe. You can't accidentally overstay anymore because it's being tracked. So
I wonder if there's going to be like an online system where you can check your EES. Because I believe now with the US, if you're arriving on the, I forget what the name of the form is, the I whatever form that they do, but it's all done electronically now. I believe there is a way you can go online and check like what length of time you've been given and how long. So I wonder if they're going to have something similar, that
mhm.
there's going to be an online area to check on that.
Maybe right now there is an app. It's called the Travel to Europe app, and it's actually a way to streamline this EES process. So you could do it online through this app, but it's only good right now for Sweden and Portugal, though they hope to roll it out to other countries. So eventually that could make it more efficient. So if you are traveling to Sweden and Portugal, you could use it's the Travel to Europe app. And I keep looking over if you're wondering, people wondering why do like our eyes shift because our outlines are over there. So, but that's why. So, but yeah, you could that's a possibility in the future. Yeah.
And I like this section coming up now that we're going to discuss the travel hack that isn't a hack.
Oh boy.
And, you know, we're going to get into this, and y'all know we can be opinionated, but we're going to give you our perspective on this travel hack that isn't a hack because you're going to see how it affects how we do business.
Yeah, it's kind of a disrespectful hack. So, a news station in Philadelphia, and I'm going to call them out right now. 6 ABC Action News in Philadelphia did a segment recently on saving money on when traveling. Great, we all like to. Who doesn't like to save a little money? Well, one of their pieces of advice was a bit controversial in the industry, and I'm going to read this out loud and then we will discuss it. So they were discussing how to save money, and the newscaster said this. In most cases, agents can book tickets and buy them hotels for little to no cost since the agents collect their fees and commissions from the suppliers, like the hotel or the flight. Yes, you'll pay if the agent creates and books all of your itinerary, but you can get around that by using them for a little advice and then calling the concierge and doing that part yourself. And that is what really really caused an uproar within the travel industry. Sean, your thoughts?
Well, basically, you're coming to me, you're
Mm-hmm.
having me do all this work. Even if we were to charge a fee, I happen to not charge fees. You charge fees. It's very different and varying throughout the industry.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't figured out a way that I want to introduce it to my clients because I kind of feel like long-standing clients, I'll feel a little odd to start charging them fees, especially
Right.
if they've supported me through the years. So it's been that's been my kind of holdback from doing it. But even if we were to charge you a fee, the majority of the money we earn comes from commission, right?
Right.
So if you have us do all this work for you and you waste my time and then you go and take my information and book somewhere else, you are stealing my work and my intellectual property as far as I'm concerned. Right? You're taking my input into your vacation and just running with it and booking your stuff. Now
Right.
I've had this happen before and I was very upset.
It's
So
disrespectful because you're asking a professional to essentially work for free. That's exactly what it is. Because when we put together a proposal and we give you information, we give you an itinerary, you've taken our time. Because that's not something we just pull out of thin air. You've taken our time, the time to research, the time to talk to our suppliers. You've basically you're interfering with our supplier relationships when you do that. We're working with our suppliers and we're gathering this information and we're taking their time out of their day, and then we're not booking with them. That's
yeah.
that's kind of interfering with that relationship as well.
It's wasting everybody's time along a whole
Right.
chain of interconnected services, is what they're
And you're
doing.
really disrespecting our years of experience and expertise, because you're not just getting information, you're getting a curated plan tailored to your needs and your wants. It's not like something we've just pulled off the shelf. It's not, no trip is the same. So you've just taken that information to book yourself. And what are you saving? A little bit, maybe $150 off of you're not paying my fee, which I
Yeah.
actually don't do any of that information. No one's getting that information from me without paying my fee. I'm
So I
just
will give like an example, right?
Mhm,
We have a lot of business to business suppliers that only work with us when it comes to hotels.
mhm,
Then there's the situation with Expedia Tap, who also sells directly to customers,
mhm.
right? Usually my tap pricing matches the public pricing. So I'm doing the work for you and you're still usually getting the same price. It's not adjusted.
Right.
Like I would say 95% of the time there's no real price difference at
No,
all.
there isn't. A lot of times when people go ahead and they're booking something, they're booking a hotel, they're booking a cruise, whatever, the commission is not extra on top of that. It's already built in. You don't use us as a travel advisor, and it's
Expedia is going to keep it.
right. And I get that using a travel advisor is not for everyone. So if your trip on your own, book your trip on your own. Don't come to us, pick our brains, take our knowledge, disregard our expertise, but and book it on your own. Don't, because if you don't want to use a travel agent, then why are you coming to a travel agent? And it's like I feel like this industry is the only industry where people expect that type of stuff.
Real estate also, a lot of realtors have wanted to start charging fees because I go out and I show you 15 houses and you don't buy anything.
Hmm.
You've now taken my time to do this. And that's also a big friction in the real estate industry too, because there are agents who are pushing to start charging fees. And then there are other ones, oh, I'm not going to charge the fee because you're doing a lot of free work. And I don't know why in certain industries, it's kind of the expectation that we're going to do work for free
Exactly.
and
You
that
don't
it's okay.
of a lawyer.
No, you don't. It doesn't happen
Doctor.
at a lawyer. It doesn't happen at a dentist. It's not going to happen. Like one example here is an interior designer. I said nobody else is expected to work like this. So why would you expect us to be doing our work for free?
Exactly. I think
Right?
a lot of the misconception comes from that they think we're just people that book trips. We're bakers. We just go plug in their information, book a hotel, and that's it. But in the reality is we're doing your whole trip design. The reality is if something goes wrong with your trip, we're there to advocate for you. We've got your back. We problem solve. We can puzzle together and put together trips you may not have thought of. We print and the little minute details that people don't think of.
And
So
then for me, the reality is I don't just book this trip and set them free. I'm with you from booking right through
exactly,
till you get home. So
exactly.
it's like I don't just book these vacations, and I know you don't either, where we just say, okay, that's booked in the bag. I'm done with it. I don't want to hear from the client again. No, I'm
Exactly.
managing my trips in WhatsApp groups, through emails, all different avenues to make sure my clients are comfortable along every step of the way. Right. And I also encourage them that if stuff is going wrong, to please contact me while it's going wrong so then I can fix it, because a lot of times if you wait till you come back, this is a little offshoot here, if you wait till you come back, then there's really not much we can do,
Mhm.
so it's like stay in touch, tell us what's up.
So basically, if you value the advice that we're giving you to the point that you're going to use it, then value us, value our profession, and let us do the work for you. Um, Now, I will say that this segment on TV caused such an uproar. They got so many complaints from travel advisors as well as the American Society of Travel Advisors. They did pull the clip and they did subsequently did a piece on using travel advisors.
Yeah. Like, just looking at it this way, you know, you had to call lawyers for a personal reason recently,
Exactly.
right? And everybody had like a retainer fee, a this fee, a that fee. You may have gotten a little bit of a free call in the beginning, but any step forward, you were being asked to pay money.
Exactly.
So
And
I
we had
just,
some free consultations, like I will do a consultation, but before they did any work or gave us any,
yeah,
they wanted a fee or retainer. And honestly, and if the fee or the retainer was too much, we didn't use them. And that's your right. That is
yeah,
absolutely your right when working with a travel advisor. If you don't want to pay the fee or whatever and go forward, that is fine. We get that. We understand that. But no lawyer would actually do work for me and then
no,
no.
no, at all. No, I mean, you can't go to the doctor and go and sit with him and then ask a couple questions and walk out and you're not paying. It's just it's crazy that people would do that, but it does happen. It has happened to me. When it did happen to me, I was extremely annoyed.
And it's that's the reason that a lot of advisors have started charging fees because of that. So um, that's our soapbox for today. That's our venting. We've been mulling that over. So we're not rude. We're not trying to, like, don't take this so personally. But that piece really, 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 really got my
I
goat.
take it personally. I don't care how they take it. It's like you're personally affecting my income and how I work.
That is
So yeah,
that is correct.
it's like I do and you know what? If somebody asked them to do something for free too, this is the crazy thing.
Mhm.
Those people would usually be like, oh my God, they want me to do this for free. So I don't get the mindset. I guess because I've always been in service type stuff,
Yeah.
I just don't assume anything is for free.
Exactly.
It's
No,
like,
indeed.
so
No, and remember one last thing. Sorry, this is a job for. This is our profession. This is a job. This is how we pay our bills. It's not for most of us. It's not a little cute side hustle for some pocket money. This is how we make a living.
we could go out there and talk a little bit about the side hustle, and I'm not going to single out any particular
Let's not go there.
things that are happening online and how they're encouraging people to do this as a side hustle. Now, I have no problem with people having side hustles. I don't even have problems with people doing this as a side hustle. Where the problem is coming in is I don't think they're being totally transparent with people wanting this side hustle, um, what it entails to really do this job properly
No, they don't. And
and get repeat business and keep your customers and all these things that go into running a business,
and
right?
people that do this on the side, it's not the norm. It's not the norm. And I feel like seeing a lot of these ads for certain agencies that are advertising this as a side hustle, they're making it sound like that's the norm, and it really isn't. But we could go on and on about that. And that's
But when you get into the weeds with it, they quickly realize when they're working with a certain type of agent or another one, and hopefully they make the correct decisions going forward when it comes to how they're looking out for these agents. And we could talk a little bit about how ASTA has their VTA program, right?
you really
That
love talking about that program. We've talked about
yeah,
it
we do
on
because it's a good way for people to have an idea that somebody has put some time into what they're doing.
and
So
don't
a lot of our
feel
agent friends and us have done it and taken the time to do it. ASTA is a fantastic organization, and they don't only advocate for us as the agent, get they will also help mediate disputes between the supplier and the agent. They're there to make travel better and a little bit more regulated.
So the
You know.
VTA, for anyone wondering, VTA stands for Verified Travel Advisor. It's a certification that we can get through ASTA, the American Society of Travel Advisors. In my opinion, it's because there is no one uniform uniform certification for travel agents in the United States. There just simply isn't. So when someone's saying they're a certified travel advisor, and I know we said this on an episode or two ago, not actually a true thing. But you will see people with certain designations after certain letters after their name, and we did this on the last episode as well. VTA, in my opinion, is the gold standard of certifications. So if you do see people with that, they're not just doing this as a side hustle. They're serious about their job and they're serious about this profession. And we could go
Yeah.
on and on and on about this
Yeah, we could for
on about
sure.
because we're getting a little off here. So, in the news lately, besides the EES, that the entry exit system, the other big thing I'm sure everyone has heard about in the news are due to the war in the Middle East, there are jet fuel shortages and flight disruptions. Some airlines are reducing their flights or canceling routes, and people may have had their flights canceled. This doesn't so much affect airlines, U.S. airlines. It affects larger European airlines or a lot of the regional airlines. But you, as a traveler, may be impacted by this.
Yeah. Also, any countries that rely on that 20% of the world's oil that comes through the Straits of Hormuz are starting to feel the impact of that 20% of the world's oil not coming through the Straits of Hormuz. And it's filtering down in the Far East, in Europe, in different ways. We keep hoping and praying that it will get rectified and that it does not cause further disruption. But the reality is, disruptions are beginning to happen.
And even if your destination isn't in the Middle East, you can still be affected. And are seeing some flight cancellations. They are seeing schedule changes, um, flight price increases. We're seeing flights are going up, and we've touched on this before, but we're touching because it's been in the news a lot in the past few days. So if your flight is canceled, um, the airline will rebook you. It could possibly be not necessarily that day, that same day. It could possibly be a day or two later. Now, if you are traveling on a European airline, there is the EU passenger rights, and you are entitled to compensation. I don't know off the top of my head what that compensation is. It's 600 euros per passenger, plus they have to provide you with, if you're already in Europe and say trying to get home, they have to provide you with some food and lodging. You can find this all online. Look up EU passenger rights.
I will tell you though, I applied for this on a flight that qualified and Lufthansa never paid me.
Really?
And I just got fed up of trying to get my money back and I gave up. So they, even though they're supposed to do it, I feel like they purposely do stuff to try and frustrate you in the process because they really don't want to give you back the money.
But you
Right?
are
So,
entitled to it, so there is a
yeah.
way to apply for it. But so the airline will rebook you. Book your fares. Be as flexible as possible. Monitor your flights regularly. Again, we're avoiding tight connections here. Have a backup plan. Make sure you have a credit card with money on it, with available credit. Make sure you're willing to just go with flow.
So, in practical terms, right now, within the continental United States, we are not going to experience probably a aviation fuel
No,
shortage
no,
because we
especially
produce our own hair. The
and if you're
issue
flying
comes
on a
in,
U.S. airline, right? Yeah.
right? The issue comes in if we are now flying outside of the country on said US airline, where they go to, they may be having a fuel shortage. So that's where the airline's going to be like, I could move my aircraft over there, but then we might be able to get it back. And that's where this kind of domino effect starts to happen with things getting canceled. So, I mean, it's just something you have to look out for. They had a little blurb in the news the other day that I know a lot of people focused on. Oh, the EU is going to run out of jet fuel in 6 weeks. And they ran with that for like 3 or 4 days on the news. So it's just something we have to talk about. I mean, I personally have not experienced anybody yet.
Now, listen, no one's getting stranded over there. It's not like you'll never. Because it sounds so much worse. But what it means is you need to be flexible, and you're like, say you were trying to get home, or even go over to Europe. Your trip might be adjusted somewhat, and you just need to roll with it. And again, working with a travel advisor, that's what we're here for, to help you navigate all of that. Having said all that, because I don't want people to think the sky is falling and that they'd be stranded indefinitely over there, because
No, but unfortunately, the way the news positions it, we have to address it, and that's why we're
we're
talking
going to
to them
run out
about
of
it.
jet fuel and it's like, oh my God, we're never going to get home. No, that's what it means. So, what it is also, we are seeing though, our airline prices are going up. So, if you are planning to travel, you book now, assume that's the lowest price you are going to get. Don't wait to see if it comes down a bit, and just, if you can live with that price, book it. If you're having a plan, if you're planning to travel, just keep your flights. Don't plan on canceling your trips or anything like that, because if you just cancel, you're going to be out a lot of money there.
And then we could check the legality of this, but from doing that training, I realized that once you purchase the ticket, at least under the US law currently, as I understood it, they cannot now then add a fuel
They
surcharge
can.
onto that already purchased ticket, from what I
They
read.
can. I don't
They
think
can?
anyone is, but
Oh.
they can. I was looking, but I don't think anyone is. That's a logistical headache than trying to get money from people. So I don't think, but they technically reserve that right, but I don't think anyone is doing that on already ticketed flights. But they could be adding it now on future flights. So if you see, just book it. Don't cancel. Don't cancel. Just roll with it all. We're gonna get this. It's gonna end. On that note, we have some fun things to talk about next. You want to talk about this?
We started discussing like a week or two ago how we would like to plan a cruise and have some of our listeners who would like to travel along with us have the opportunity to book and come along with us on a little bit of an adventure next year.
So
So,
we are going to Greece, everyone. May 29th to June 5th, 2027. Check bags and big tags is going to Greece, and we invite everyone to come with us. We'll be sailing on the Celestial Journey with Celestial Cruises. We are so very excited about that. We sort of just finalized it today, this morning. That's why we can now announce it to you. So, what does this mean? You're getting a great experience with us. We are going to be taking you on a tour, a curated experience with some stress-free stress-free planning.
tongue tie there.
A great community of people. We will be seeing, you'll be getting a really authentic trip to Greece. For anyone that isn't aware of what Celestial is, Celestial Cruises is a Greek cruise line. Is what they know. That is what they are expert in. That is what they focus on. That's their itineraries. It's throughout the Mediterranean and Greece.
And they focus on very Greece intensive and visiting some of the islands that the other large cruise lines would not normally visit.
Exactly. So
So,
this cruise is going to be starting in Athens. It will be going to Kusadasi, where you could see Ephesus. It'll be going to Rhodes, Crete, Santorini, Mykonos, with a very late departure there, so you could experience the Mykonos nightlife. It goes to the island of Milos, which is a less touristed island. So that's what makes it great, because Celestial is known for their authentic experiences. They have their Greek crew. Their food on board is Mediterranean. They have very local, fresh foods on board. The entertainment is authentic. So it's going to be a really great experience.
and I think the pricing, which everybody will soon get to see, after we get it online after this, is quite competitive. Um, and for a cruise, I think it's more on the reasonable side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think it would be an opportunity for a lot of people to experience Greece and do it within their budget,
Right,
hopefully.
the prices start at $2,358 for two people. That's the total price for two people. That's the starting price. That's a great price, but it includes
And what does that include?
your accommodations, your onboard entertainment and activities, your meals and snacks, essential Wi-Fi, gratuity, port taxes and fees. Plus, every cabin will be getting €50 in celestial pay, which you could use for beverages on board or specialty dining. We will curate excursions. We will help arrange special pricing at pre-cruise hotels in Athens. We'll help arrange the transfers. We're still not at that point where we've gotten to those details. Right now we're working on the cruise itself.
So ideally, we would like to get one pre-cruise hotel and maybe have everybody stay in that pre-cruise hotel if they're coming in the night before, and then arrange transfers for them to the port to meet the ship. Everybody moving as a group, hopefully. But then that's not going to be the only option. It just depends on what works. It can be customized to you.
Experience. We'll do an episode from the ship. We will have some really great experiences and tours and excursions. It'll just be a really great, fun community to travel with. So I'm going to put the flyer up also on the Check Bags and Big Tags Facebook page. So be sure to check that out, everyone. And, subscribe to this podcast for updates. But it's going to be a really fun experience. And we're so excited to do this.
Oh, yeah.
So, on that note, we hope you enjoyed today's podcast. We ran through it real quick, which is, I'm sure, people like. Just travel's evolving quickly, and how you plan and who you work with matters more than ever these days. So
go get that flyer off the Facebook page and do your little research into the Check Bags Big Tags first annual cruise, and gives you time this weekend to really look into it and decide if this is something you want to do with us.
So, on that note, have a great weekend and safe travels. Take care. Thank you for listening to Check Bags and Big Tags. When you're ready to book your next dream vacation, be sure to contact your local trusted travel advisor. If you liked what you heard today and want to hear more travel tips and tricks, be sure to hit subscribe and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Check Bags and Big Tags. And if you have any questions about travel or topics you want to hear, just send us an email at checkbagsandbigtags@gmail.com. Thank you again for tuning in, and until next time, keep dreaming big and chasing those unforgettable adventures.
Live radio, local podcasts, the Frederick Podcast Network at listenfrederick.com.